First thing we're going to do is we're going to make some charcoal. So we're going to get some fire going here. I found biochar needs a lot of heat. You don't want to slow cook it. And of course the secret is to cook the wood with no or very little oxygen. So we're going to let this fire build up and get a nice hot fire cooking, and then we're going to put our can inside. Hey folks, welcome to Cedar Song Farm Life. I'm here today to show you a little bit about how I make my biochar. Now, I'll start off right from the beginning. This is how I make it. It's how I do and not how to do. But I think if you follow along with this, it's actually pretty easy to make. What biochar is going to do is really help out your soil, help out your plants. Now, I'm not going to go into the science of all of it, but I've done the research. Biochar has been used for thousands of years. People discovered that by replacing the carbon in the soil, their plants grew better. And it does work, I know from my own experiments. Today, what I'd like to show you is how I make the biochar. I call it a how I do it, not necessarily how you should do it. But what we're going to do is we're going to use a wood stove as a retort. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's get started. So to make biochar, first we need to make charcoal, because charcoal and biochar are two totally different things, kind of. Basically, charcoal is burnt wood, burnt bean husks. Biochar can be made out of anything that was alive, bones, twigs, sticks, mostly your carbonous materials. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that charcoal through the retort in the wood stove, through pyrolysis, which is essentially the act of baking out, cooking out everything that came out of this wood until it's only in its carbon state. What that's going to do is allow this to go into our soil, retain moisture, improve the soil health by adding the biology, giving the biology a place to live. They love the carbon. If you look at this after it's turned into charcoal, there's just billions, millions, trillions, whatever. There's a lot of space for that biology to live. And what that's going to allow it to do is to supply the biology that your roots of your plants need in order to grow better, healthy. So let's go ahead and take a look at, this was what we started with. And then this was our retort. We're going to get more into that in a minute here. If I can get it open. This is not biochar yet. But once it's been heated, all of the things, the moisture, even the vitamins and the minerals that were in all of this wood, they're gone. We're left with simple carbon. You can see it just flakes off. And I know I'll not get a close-up of that, but if you could look inside of there, it kind of looks like a sponge. There's lots of little open cells, and that is where the biology is going to live, and that biology is going to work with your plants to give it everything it needs. All right, let's go take a look at how we actually make it. Now, chances are, if you're watching this video, you've heard of biochar. It is an amazing thing. I've been using it for years, and I've come up with something that I actually saw on the internet back a while ago that has made making biochar so much easier. Now, I've got a wood stove, and that's the part that makes it easy. I used to do it out in a pit, and sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. But what I'm going to show you today is how to take these two cans and get them at your local pizzeria. If you drink a lot of coffee, you probably, well, if you buy chock full of nuts like I do, you can get the metal cans. And what we're going to use today is this tool here. Now this is, all it is a sheet metal crimper. And we're going to take one of these cans and we're going to crimp it. And as you can see, what it does is it folds the metal in so that we can attach these two cans and put them together. Now, this is going to take a while, so I'll probably speed this up so you don't have to sit here and listen to me jabber and watch me crimp a can. Now, if you'll notice, I don't put the crimps real close together. I found that if you do, what it does is it brings the can closer so that when you put the other one on top of it, it doesn't form a really great seal. It's one of those things, you know, you just got to do it, try it, and go from there. Learn from what you just did. Now, if you go too far apart with the crimps, then the can won't actually seal as well. And one of the things you don't want it to seal airtight around this because you want the gases to escape so that the moisture and any of the volatile oils in the wood don't compress too much in there and perhaps cause it to explode. Chances are it's not going to happen because what we're going to do, I'll show you in a minute, but here's what we've got. We've got the two cans. Because we've crimped this one, it's going to fit inside of the other one, and you just pop it together. All right, that's easy enough. Now comes the fun part. This is the part that I like. Now, it's been a year since I've done this. So, well, not quite a year. We're going to play wood Jenga, char Jenga. I get this wood from a shop that makes pallets, and this is all the cut off end pieces. It's all primarily a hardwood. There's some softwoods in here, but as you can see, they're all various sizes. And what I've found over the years of doing this, if you can find a place, go to your local cabinetry maker or whatever and ask if you can take their scraps. Believe me, they've got to throw this stuff away, and their dumpster fees are not cheap. So if they can give it away and not fill up their dumpster, it's a good thing. Now, I used to love doing this. I mean, it's a wintertime thing for me. And I mean, what else better to do than play Jenga, right? To be honest with you, I think I probably played real Jenga one time in my life. Oh, so now, here, you see that? I wouldn't have done this last year. I'd have known. Don't put those small pieces in. Put the big pieces in first. Now, they don't have to fit real tight. You know, basically just get them in there to where they're not going to fall apart on you. You don't want the Jenga to fall down, right? Isn't that the object of the game? I don't know, something like that. I try to make it even on the top here, and I'll show you why in a second. See, if I were to just put this can on there right, there's coffee coming out of there or something. Something's coming up. Right now, I'd be missing about that much space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find a piece that'll hold these together and lift this up, and then throw a couple more pieces on. The more you can get in here, the better. Not that it really matters. I'm going to be doing this from now, which is the first week of February, until probably late March. I got plenty of time. I'm not worried about it. And then fit it over the top, and you're good to go. All right. Oh no, I forgot the one other thing I was going to do. I hope I can get this can apart. Now, I've got a video coming out shortly. I don't know, maybe it's already out. I don't know. But I'm a farmer and I grow green beans. And I just took the beans out of the dried husks of the ones that I was saving for seed. Now, anything that was once alive, you can make char out of. Bones, sticks, peanut shells, bean husks. What I'm hoping for, this is actually the first time I've tried the bean husks, is that a lot of times this thicker stuff, yeah, it makes great char, but then you got to crunch it all up and you got to make it into smaller pieces. Like, do you have to? No, you don't have to. But what I want to try is to see if this will make me a finer powder to use inside of my worm bins so that the worms can use it a little bit more effectively. And when it goes into the soil, it won't leave like big chunks of char laying around. Not that that's a bad thing. I enjoy seeing it because I know it's doing a great job for my gardens. Let's just let's throw some of these in there, kind of fill up these empty spaces. Some of these actually still have some beans that I saw that they probably weren't going to be good for growing, so I just left them in here. And there's a good example of it right there. It's all right, bean. You will have a whole nother life. Thank you. This might take a little while, but through the magic of speeding up the video, you won't have to sit through the whole thing. Okay, so that was an experiment. We are experimenting. That's close enough. I think that'll work. Sorry about the noise. All right, one other thing we need to do right now, and it's a very, very important thing. All right, anytime somebody comes out with a hammer and a screwdriver, you know it's getting serious. What we're going to do is we're going to put a hole in the top of this can right here. And that's going to allow, when this is in the wood stove, when it heats up, basically there's no oxygen burning inside of here, but we have to have some place where the gases, the moisture, all the volatile oils and all that can be released. If you don't, it could be a problem. Don't want a huge hole, but you don't want a real small hole either. And the reason why you don't want a real small hole, that can kind of gum up and fill up. So we've got a hole in here. That's going to allow the gases and the moisture to come out of the can and to burn this wood without oxygen, turning it into char. Let's go take this wood and turn it into char. Let's go throw it in the fire. Don't try this at home, kids. It's dangerous. I'm going to take some more wood, throw it in there, and we're going to let it cook. I've been doing this since about February this year with this system. And it works really good. You learn how not to burn your hands. Or not. If you look, you can see the flame shooting from the center of the can. That's how you know that you're cooking the charcoal correctly, because what's happening is the gas is inside of the can. There's no oxygen, and it forces the gases out through the seal between the two cans. That's how you know it's warm enough. Okay, the fire's about out, and we're going to remove the charcoal. I don't call it biochar yet until it's been inoculated. That's the fun part. And we're going to bring it outside and quench it. What we're going to do here is pretty much shatter it. Cool it off. It's also the first part of the inoculation. All that water that I just added is pretty much going to get soaked up by the charcoal. So here's the biochar, the charcoal that we just made. Now we're going to inoculate it or charge it. This is a big old bin that I've had out here, and I just take it and refill it and take it and refill it. And we're going to take that little bit there and throw it in. And then what I do is I take manure or worm castings and I throw it in here as well. The leaves fall in. They're helping to add biology to the charcoal to turn it into biochar. And I'm going to show you how another way that I do it that's a little bit more fast acting. This is going to take a month or two for all the biology to get in. Now remember, this is getting rain on it. The wind is blowing different things into it. But I'm going to show you later on in the video how I inoculate my biochar, how I make the biochar in my worm castings. When it comes to inoculating my biochar, my charcoal to create biochar, this is the way that I found works the best for me. Now, this is one of my red wiggler earthworm bins, and what I like to do with the biochar is simply place it in the bin with the worms and let them and all the microbiology that's in this bin inoculate the biochar. So I'm just going to clean out a section here, add the biochar, give it a little stir, and then cover it back up. So what's going to happen is all the microbiology in this worm bin is going to take up residence in the charcoal and charge it, essentially taking it from wood into biochar. It's not going to take very long. Now, if you don't have a worm bin, okay, you should. But if you don't have a worm bin to do this with, all you could do is just go out to your garden, dig a little hole, bury your biochar in the hole, cover it up, and all the microbiology in your soil is going to inoculate that charcoal, turning it into biochar. You got a bucket, fill your bucket up, fill it up with water, put it outside. If you've got some chicken manure, like I do, or even a handful of soil, throw it in that bucket, stir it up, get something to get the microbiology built up. That's what charges the charcoal and makes it biochar. Okay, let's move on from there. Hey folks, I thought that was fun. Even though I've got charcoal dust all over my hands, probably all over my face, it was a lot of fun. I've got my wood stove going. It's February. We're getting ready to get into planting seeds. Make my biochar now. I know I'm going to be using it. If you've got a wood stove, you want to get together and put those cans together, throw some stuff in there and make biochar, go for it. It's worth it. It really is. I enjoy it. It's a fun time for me. Get to sit by a nice warm stove. If you got anything out of this, I hope you did. You know, even if it was just enjoyable to watch, hey, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. I've got lots more videos coming up. We're getting into planting season, and I've got lots of different ways of doing things that, you know, even if you only pick out one little tiny piece that sounds great, super. I hope you do. I want to thank you again for watching. Happy biochar. Happy spring. Happy planting. Talk to you later.